Okay, we have the TCU Horned Frogs joining us. Head coach Jim Schlossnagle, student athletes Nick Lodolo and Josh Watson. Will start with a statement from the coach.
Just congratulations, Oklahoma State. Played a really good ball game. Obviously, the home runs were the difference in the ball game. I felt like Nick did a nice job, and then just a couple of mistakes that he made, they made him pay, and that's been the story to their season, and obviously the story to ours.
Nick, they got some solid contact off you early, but then you were able to find your way in a groove. Was there an adjustment you made, or was it just kind of settling into the game?
A little bit of settling in, and then started mixing more.
Nick, what did you see on those home runs? Or exactly remember those? Because as Coach said, those are the mistakes he thought you made. Otherwise, he had a pretty solid performance.
Yeah, I mean, the first one, he put a good swing on it. That was a mistake. And the second one, I mean, he put a really good swing on it. We were trying to go up. I thought I got it up pretty good, but obviously not enough.
Those Trevor Booney leads the Cowboys in home runs. What do you think makes him so difficult for pitchers to face?
I mean, I would just say he hits a mistake. He doesn't miss it.
Josh, what's something that you guys can really focus on going into tomorrow's matchup against the Sooners?
You know, with us, it's just, we got to focus pitch to pitch. Lodolo went out there, threw a great game, and honestly, we just kind of string together some hits and, get those bats going and be able to back up our pitching.
Coach, this team's kind of known as a power team. The team you guys face, how tough is that whenever, 1 through 9, they're capable of getting big shots?
Yeah, if you execute pitches, obviously they strike out a lot too, and that's to their credit. Josh and Coach Valade, whoever coached those guys, has done a great job, and they've bought into it, and they don't panic when they punch out some because they know they're a swing away, and they're playing with a lot of confidence. They've played really, really well down the stretch, and they've really pitched. And so when you don't let the other team score much, then you have a lot of freedom, at home plate. And so, they're a club that is solidly in the NCAA tournament, hosting a regional, and should be a national seed in my opinion. But they've done a really good job with their team.
Josh Scott's hasn't pitched a whole lot. What makes him so challenging up at the mound?
I think he just went up there and he executed pitches in and out, down and up, and kind of kept some of our hitters off balance. And so yeah, he just kind of did a good job. Went out there and competed, and competed more than us. And so.
Coach Nick threw, I think, 8 innings 6 days ago. Was that at all?
Let's say that till the players get the players first, and then we'll. Are you through? Any more questions for the student athletes? Okay, we'll let you guys go, and then we'll work on the coach. Thanks, guys. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Nick threw 8 innings, I think, 6 days ago. Was there any hesitancy of throwing him out there again?
No, I mean, he threw on short rest. I mean, 1 day shorter than the previous week, and shoot, we didn't play till it was almost the next day. When we were 3 hours or a couple hours from midnight. But no, I mean, feels great. We take care of him all year long. He was efficient with his pitches last week. He's efficient with his pitches tonight, and he's going to be a first rounder, and he's going to have to pitch on way less rest, in his pro career. But no, I didn't. If we were in the position that Tech and Oklahoma State was in, he wouldn't have pitched tonight. We've been in that position before in this tournament, and we've thrown our 4th guy or something like that, but we weren't in that position tonight.
Last season at this point, OSU was kind of unsure if they'd make the NCAA tournament. What do you think has made them maybe kind of a different team to face this season?
Well, the biggest thing for their team is that last year they didn't have a healthy pitching staff. They had a lot of guys hurt, and Coach Walton did an unbelievable job with them, as he always does. And this year they have all those guys back and some new players, and really, really, really good in the middle of the field. Those 2 middle infielders are really good players. I mean, that's a club that can compete for a national title, and I certainly wouldn't want to play them in a regional in that ballpark. That's not a fun place to pitch.
Hey, Coach, also you had a short rest for you guys. How do you get some short rest tonight? Get ready for tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean that's tournament baseball. These guys grow up playing tournament baseball, so I'm not worried about it. We don't have to play at 9, so we'll get a little bit of sleep and be back out here.
How do you adjust? You mentioned the game's going late. Whenever you see the games getting later and later, how do you adjust to that?
You just try and stay in routine. I mean, we've played in tournaments this year. We played in a tournament in Houston beginning of the year where we didn't play till almost 8 o'clock on a Sunday down against Rice, and so it's just, again, it's baseball players are used to that stuff, and when you're a basketball player, the game's played indoors, and it always starts when it's always tip off when they say it's going to be tip off. Baseball players are used to adjusting.
Okay, Coach. Thank you. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Good. I got to move out again.
Oh, yeah. Ran all the way back to the hotel.
All the way from here to the hotel with his uniform.
Oh,
yeah.
Right down the street. He said he was like, I was jogging. He's like, I had to walk. He's like, I was getting tired. Tell him wear it.
Well, maybe his SID should help him.
See, the good thing is, all deadlines are gone. So we're just here to have fun.
Yeah. I'm ready. No homework.
This is the best time of year for a baseball player in college.
Wake up, play baseball.
He didn't do it. Yeah.
Oh, I know the trick.
Got the trick.
I got it.
Okay, we're joined by the OSU Cowboys, head coach Josh Holliday, student athletes Parker Scott, Colin Simpson, and Trevor Boone. Start with you, Coach.
Okay, heck of a good game. We pitched well. Really proud of the way Parker competed and fought through innings 4, 5, and 6. TCU's got a very athletic lineup. They're hard to strike out, and he did a really good job. And I think he'd probably tell you he competed from his gut. Those 4, 5, and 6. And it was a muggy night out there, and his endurance has been building all year long. So really proud of his effort. Greg came in and did a good job of filling up the strike zone. There were some really nice defensive plays tonight. Trevor made a great catch early in the game in center field. Andrew and Huey were sharp on the middle infield. And obviously we were facing a pitcher who, in my opinion, has to be the best left-hand pitcher in the country and probably one of the top 2 pitchers in the entire game of college baseball. He and Manoah are dominant figures, and they're tough to handle. We've seen him countless times. We have great respect for him. We knew we would have to compete awfully tough, and we had a great chance because Parker matched him pitch for pitch all the way through. And then, credit to our kids. We had some decent swings the first time through the order. Second time through, he was dominant. We had a hard time getting the bat on the ball, and that's nothing that we did wrong. That's sometimes the guy on the other side of the field is throwing pitches up there that are very difficult to handle. But the third time through, we made a little bit of an adjustment, and then we got some clutch swings. Obviously, Colin and Trevor have been clutch now. Colin for 4 years. Trevor has blossomed recently into one of the most dynamic players in our conference. He's really turned into a special player. And, that was really built on contact. Cade makes contact. Huey draws a walk. Navi gets kind of the big hit to get it rolling, so to speak, to give us the lead. But Colin's sack fly and Trevor's home run gave us some breathing room. So just a lot of kids deserve, credit, and Leaper closed it out.
For you guys, Trevor and Colin, was there kind of a moment when you maybe figured out what Lodolo was doing and it kind of made it a little easier to hit against him?
I'm going to say I never figured out what Lodolo was doing. No, he's a really good pitcher. His fastball, his inside fastball and his slider that is in the dirt in the right-handed batter's box, they look the exact same out of his hand. So it's pretty tough to, kind of figure out which one's coming at you. But I think he kind of got into a little bit of a pattern as the game went on and kind of started throwing to the same sequences, to the same hitters. So I think we kind of started figuring out what his pattern was, and that I think that's what we got onto.
Speaking of pattern, you're kind of getting into that early home run in the ball game pattern. And I know the 6th inning is what stood out, but I thought your home run early kind of got him off guard a little bit.
He made a mistake in a 3-1 count. He threw a fastball down outer third, and I ended up putting a good swing on it. And we like to call that smart hitting. The wind's blowing out at about 30 to left, so if you just hit a pop fly to left, we call it smart hitting because the wind's going to take it out for you.
Trevor, you had a pop fly left right after that. Did you think it was?
I knew I triggered and I clicked and I just had all hands and I hit it and I looked where it was going. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Going a mile away to that part of the field. But I got it good. But like he said, we're just trying to put a ball in the air, knowing the wind's going to help us out and use Mother Nature to our advantage.
Parker, you came in today. Just when did you know you were going to get the ball today? And also just talk about adjusting to that starter role these last 5 weeks.
Rob texted me this morning about 11 o'clock and let me know I had the ball. So, I was usually the day before, but we were all ready to go, me, Jensen, and Joe. So I was just waiting for the call, and then 11 o'clock he let me know.
Talk a little bit about the happiness, satisfaction you've got to have with your defense. Trevor made some nice plays for you. Like Josh said, the middle infield was good. And you just kind of said, okay, I'll throw them up there and let these guys work.
Yeah, for sure. They always have my back, and first inning would have been different if Boone didn't make that play. So after that, I kind of got in a little bit of a roll.
It's been a while since you've gotten to throw with how weird last weekend was. How much did that extended rest kind of help you get through these long innings?
For my arm, it helped a lot, I feel like, but maybe not for my command and pitches. So, but my arm felt a lot better than it has been.
What's it like for you to go 6 innings like that?
Fun, rewarding. I mean, I've been waiting two years to get back in the rotation, so it's been fun.
Trevor, you're playing an opponent that you're very familiar with. You just saw him come last week, so what do you think tomorrow?
I think it's just another game, and we're just going to use the information we picked up from this past weekend and gather up a game plan and see what happens.
You talked a little bit about the long fly ball out that you hit after Collins' home run. Let's talk about the home run, because it was almost to the same part of the field. I'm guessing you got a little more bat on that one.
Yeah, that one was a fastball, and Lodolo, he provides all the power for you, and it was a 1-2 count, and I was trying to get my foot down and see the ball out of his hand and put a good swing on it.
Okay,
You're lucky to have your jersey out here.
Yeah.
Actually, I got
Let's talk about that.
All right, let's talk about it. I got the best warm-up I've ever had all year, actually probably in 4 years. I actually grabbed my black jersey and put it in my bag before we left this morning instead of my orange one. So we get to the field in the locker room, I open my bag, and I'm kind of frozen because I had the wrong jersey. So I decided to take a nice jog all the way back to the Renaissance and back, and I got back and I was warm and ready to go. So I might have to do that tomorrow. It seemed to play out pretty well.
Happened.
It's not a joke. It really did happen.
We were expecting Dippin' Dots when he came back.
Those would have been for you.
Yeah.
Not for me.
Any more questions for our student athletes? Okay, we'll let you guys go do.
Thank you.
Cool. No, coach. I didn't. I said.
Ha ha! You're not a student athlete. You're too old.
I remember when he was, though. That's how old I am. Okay, questions for the coach.
Same thing that Trevor was asked. I mean, you're turning around and catching Baylor again. Is that in your favor, in their favor? Does it matter?
It doesn't matter because it's what's on the schedule, so you just do it, right? I mean, they're good. This 4-team pod we're in, when you look at how good these teams are, this is better than most regionals will be, for sure. I mean, we're talking about faced one of the best pitchers in the country tonight. We're seeing a team tomorrow that was in first place until the last day, right? So they've had a heck of a season, and they're very talented. And obviously, us and OU both have, I think, really good squads. So it's a great tournament, and it's a fun tournament. And it's nights like tonight that you stick around all day long with anxious energy to play, and then you finally get on the field, and something great happens, and these kids will never forget that night. So, but yeah, I mean, Baylor, we don't have to watch quite as much film. That's good since we, pretty fresh in our minds. But they're a really good team.
Do you talk about any big picture stuff at all going into a weekend like this?
I don't. I just try to talk to them about enjoying each other and staying focused on this time that they've earned, and not getting caught up with some of the chatter that can come into their lives, whether it be off the field stuff, the draft is looming, all the different things that go on in these kids' lives. Just beg them to enjoy it together and stay in the moment, because 30 days or 40 days from now, you never get to go back and redo this. And so do it right while you have a chance, and that's all we talk about. These guys like each other. This is a fun group of kids. I'm really cherishing the time with them.
TCU's coach said if they were in you guys' position, Lodolo probably would have got the extra day's rest. How nice is that for you guys to be able to use all your guys and get the extra day from last week?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think every team comes into a tournament with a strategy based on how they view where they're at. And obviously, I think TCU feels like they need to win this tournament, so they're going to throw their best guy in game one. But I assure you that's not the last you hear from them. They got a really good team and a deep staff. So each team has a different, I think, plan. You get to this point in the season, and each coach has to know his guys and where their bodies are at. If you need the full rest, you got to take it. And if you feel like you got to run a guy out there. That's what you do. So the strategy part, yeah, I mean, we came in this tournament 2 years ago. We had to win it. And so we sat down and looked at it and said, if we're going to win it, which is really the only way to play is go all in, how we want to line it up. And we approached it from that lens. Feeling like we're in a pretty good spot to advance. We want to play this very aggressively, but also play it smart because whenever do anything this week that would cost you a chance to play well next week. So, like I said, each team's got their own outlook on it. We want to play well and win each game. And I don't know who Rob wants to throw tomorrow, but we'll let him get a good night's sleep. When he wakes up, he'll come up with something.
How late do you let them sleep? I mean, this is a late night. I mean,
the greatest excitement in them that they won tonight is that they do not have to wake up and play at 12 o'clock tomorrow. And sometimes you just celebrate some of those small subtleties. I mean, this is the time of year for them that's fun. This is where they'll go back to the hotel and unwind together and grab something to eat and kind of talk about the game. And we'll have to knock on their door at 10:15 to get them down for breakfast at 10:30. But, they earn that. And that's kind of the postseason, post-school lifestyle that these guys embrace. When you get past exams, you get a chance to shift gears just a bit.
How nice is it to see someone like Parker, who's going to do so much, have the outing he had tonight?
It's awesome. It's awesome for him. He had a long journey back. He had multiple surgeries. He had an ulnar nerve relocated, and then he had Tommy John, and then he had a follow-up surgery after Tommy John. And at times he was very discouraged because he missed pitching and he wasn't seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. But when he got to March and he started to see that, hey, I'm almost there. You just saw a change in the kid because he got back to pitching and he started to see kind of that joy again. And he's a very good pitcher. And, just his endurance and getting stronger and just getting back out there. He missed 2 years, man. There's a little rust you gotta bang off. But it's always exciting when kids get back to doing what they love to do. And he put a lot into his rehabilitation, and we're proud to have him back out there.
You always talk about the kids staying in the moment.
Uh-huh.
The sixth inning, a good example. He had 8 straight Ks. The line have rolled over.
Yeah.
They just.
Well, I think that's why, like you said, I mean, my early days in coaching, I'm probably going to be sitting there screaming, "Don't strike out," But as you get older, you realize don't focus on that. That's stupid. That would just lead to more of it. And they already know they're striking out. They don't want to strike out. So you just talk about, all right, come on, that one's behind you. We knew this guy was going to be tough. We talked about it before the game. I told him he's going to strike you out some. He's that good. How are you going to handle it, and what are you going to do about it? And so, to their credit, they just turn the page, right, and play the next at bat. So that's a skill. These are mature kids. It's taken us a while to get there. Sometimes young players or weak-minded players, they get so caught up that they fear striking out again the next time, and this just starts to snowball. He was just striking us out because in that time through the order, he was a lot better than we were. But we responded in the next time, and those kids, I mean, Trevor Boone, he's becoming a real special player. I don't want to let him get too big-headed, but that guy can do some stuff now. That guy's, you don't see guys play center field at 220 pounds and hit home runs like he's hit them. He's pretty special, so that was a big swing of the bat.
Okay, Coach. Thank you.
All right.
Former quarterback.
Thank you.
Yeah.